Good evening. We are bringing you an unprecedented investigative report into a medical anomaly that occurred recently at St. Jude's Regional Hospital in San Antonio, Texas. This is the case of Helen Dubois, a 70-year-old former teacher whose recovery has defied every known principle of modern science. Helen Dubois was admitted following a severe, unexpected stroke that resulted in complete, irreparable paralysis from the waist down. The initial prognosis from the neurology team was devastating: permanent disability and a life expectancy of less than 6 months. Dr. Mark Stevens, Chief of Neurology at St. Jude's, stated in his official report, "The damage to the spinal cord was extensive. Based on the MRI scans, Mrs. Dubois had zero chance of regaining any motor function. This was a terminal diagnosis." She was moved to a palliative care wing, the final medical stop. Her only daughter, Sarah, a devout Catholic, testified to the intense spiritual crisis they faced. "We prayed, of course. We prayed for a miracle," Sarah recalled. "But after seeing the medical reports from 3 different specialists, including consultants flown in from the Mayo Clinic, even I had to confront the reality that God seemed silent. We were preparing for a farewell. This setting is crucial, a situation where logic had reached its absolute end. No experimental drug, no cutting-edge physical therapy, and no conventional hope remained. The hospital staff, though compassionate, was simply waiting. The stage was set for the impossible." The critical event occurred during the early morning hours of October 19th, at approximately 3:15 a.m., a time often cited in paranormal studies as having heightened activity. The key witness to the immediate aftermath of this phenomenon was Michael Reed, the night shift nurse assigned to the palliative care wing. Crucially, Mr. Reed is not affiliated with any organized religion, lending a valuable degree of objectivity to his testimony. Mr. Reed reported seeing an inexplicable phenomenon outside Helen Dubois' window. "It wasn't a searchlight. It wasn't a car. It was a very intense but soft blue light, static against the window pane," Mr. Reed stated under oath. "It lasted maybe 10 seconds, then vanished. He dismissed it as a reflection until he saw the patient's reaction." Inside the room, Mrs. Dubois described the scene in vivid detail. She reported seeing the figure of a woman, radiating light and wearing a cloak of brilliant blue and white. Positioned directly outside her 4th-floor window, she was floating, not standing, Mrs. Dubois claimed, and she had the most gentle, loving face I've ever seen. "I knew immediately who she was, the Blessed Mother." Mrs. Dubois' testimony then takes a profound turn. The figure did not speak. Instead, she slowly raised her hand and gently touched the glass of the window, directly opposite Mrs. Dubois' heart. Mrs. Dubois reported an instantaneous sensation. "It felt like an electrical current, but warm. It shot down my spine to my feet. And for the first time in 6 months, I could feel my toes." The appearance was brief, lasting less than a minute. Mrs. Dubois, overwhelmed, immediately pressed the call button. The subsequent events, witnessed directly by Nurse Reed, are what truly place this case outside the realm of medical explanation. What Nurse Michael Reed witnessed next completely shattered the medical protocol of the palliative care unit. Responding to the call button, Reed entered the room just moments after the blue light vanished. He found Helen Dubois, who was medically categorized as completely paralyzed, not only sitting upright in bed but struggling to swing her legs over the side. "I thought she was delirious, perhaps experiencing a neurological seizure," Reed testified. "But then she looked at me with full lucidity and said, 'I need to stand up now.'" Against his better judgment and recognizing the distress, Reed assisted Mrs. Dubois to the side of the bed. The shock intensified when Mrs. Dubois placed her feet on the floor and, with minimal effort, fully supported her own weight. The scene was recorded in the hospital logs as Incident 409A, Unexplained Motor Function Restoration. The most compelling piece of physical evidence from that morning was the empty wheelchair parked conspicuously beside the bed, a stark, silent contradiction to every medical chart in Mrs. Dubois' file. Within the hour, the attending physicians, including Dr. Stevens, were summoned for emergency evaluation. A battery of tests was initiated: new MRI scans, CT scans, and neurological function assessments. The results sent shockwaves through the medical community. The subsequent reports confirmed the impossible. The areas of the spinal cord previously documented as irreparably damaged now showed complete, healthy reconnection. The paralysis had vanished. The medical team had no choice but to conclude that Mrs. Dubois had experienced a total, instantaneous, and medically unexplainable recovery. This was not a slow remission. This was a reversal of irreversible damage. The case of Helen Dubois is not merely a statistical anomaly. It is a direct confrontation between empirical data and divine intervention. In an exclusive interview for this report, Dr. Mark Stevens, a highly respected physician with 3 decades in neurology, was forced to make an astonishing admission. "I am a man of science," Dr. Stevens stated. "I believe in pathology, evidence, and established medical law. But based on the before and after imaging, I have to state for the record that Mrs. Dubois' recovery is impossible to rationalize using current scientific knowledge. Her spinal cord simply regenerated. I cannot explain it. I can only confirm the result." Nurse Michael Reed, the key objective witness, summed up the experience simply: "I saw the light and I saw the result. I don't know what I saw, but I know what happened. The paralyzed woman walked." For Helen Dubois and her daughter, Sarah, the meaning is clear and unequivocal. "Science gave me a deadline," Mrs. Dubois stated, now walking freely across the hospital floor. "But the Blessed Mother gave me a miracle. She didn't come to my bedside. She came to my window, proving that no barrier, not even the walls of a terminal ward, can stop God's love when His Mother intercedes." The hospital officially classified the case as a spontaneous remission of unknown etiology, a medical term for "we don't know how." However, for countless individuals across America, this case provides irrefutable witness that faith, prayer, and the intercession of the Virgin Mary can overturn even the most certain scientific death sentence. This concludes our special investigative report on the miracle at St. Jude's Hospital. Thank you for watching.